something I've been thinking about. How we are getting squeezed into boxes. The way we, the way our education teaches us, the way we sit in cubicles, the way in which suburban lots are fenced, they're all reminiscent of boxes, right? Squares. The way we have neat, hundreds of miles of just corn, right, or soy or wheat, just hundreds of miles of boxes, right, straight lines, linearity. The idea I've been thinking about is like this. It's almost like a enclosure. It's an enclosure. So, for example, with social media, right? With all these algorithms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Amazon, all the algorithms, right? Big tech companies, with their algorithms, we get squeezed into echo chambers, right? Boxes, right? Boxes of ideas. We get squeezed into boxes of ideas. That way we don't hear anything outside of our box, right? Our neat little enclosure. Same with, Amazon boxes too, right? As much as I like Amazon, right? It's super convenient. All the packages that we receive come in these neat little boxes, right? Neat little boxes, very convenient, but it's very unnatural. Not just unnatural, right? But it's very disheartening. It's very isolating. Our cell phone is a box, right? It's a box that connects us to the world, right? But we're looking at the world through a box. Our cubicles, our 9-to-5 office jobs. I've actually never worked one, but from what I know, a cubicle is a box, right? It's our own little world, right? It's our own little space, right? It's our own little enclosure. So with all of these things, social media, or consumerism, or our work, our job, or our cell phone, our computers, even our cars, right? Our cars, even though they're supposed to be mobile, right? They're supposed to be mobile. Cars, trucks, planes, trains, they're supposed to carry us to places, right? And it's very convenient, right? Very convenient, 100%, right? And it's useful too. But they're boxes, right? They keep us away from the outside world. Unlike, let's say, riding in a bicycle, right? Which is a lot slower, of course. Right? Bicycles are a lot slower, but they're open. My bicycles are open, unless you have like a canvas, like a rain cover over your bike, right? Bicycles are open, but cars, they're enclosed. Obviously to protect you, of course. Right, but they're enclosed too, right? Everything is enclosed, right? They're all boxes. There's boxes everywhere. So the idea I've been really thinking of is how this kind of like mindset, right? This, call it Western, right? Call it developed, call it industrial, Christian, right? Call it Enlightenment or American. This society is a very enclosed society, right? It's a very enclosed society, right? We put fences and borders around everywhere. And of course, right, fences and borders are important. Otherwise, we wouldn't put them, of course, right? Just like having walls to protect a castle. But, I wonder if it's making us isolated, right? If this enclosing, right, these fences, walls, borders, boxes, if all these borders are keeping us away from each other, or if they're isolating us. Now, I don't know a lot about this, but sometimes I hear on the news about, not just news, but research about depression, loneliness, anxiety, right? This mental health epidemic. You know, the word epidemic might be hyperbolic, it might be, but it might not be, right? It might be understating, right? Just how severe this issue is, right? This issue of, I would call it disconnection, right? We're not connected. Now, I'm not pretending to know everyone's lives. I don't know everyone's lives. Each person has their own journey, and each person has their own life to live. But what I feel intuitively is that all these enclosures, right, the monoculture of crops, right, literally, right, corn, monoculture of corn, soy, all these crops, the monoculture of ideas, right, these boxes might be isolating, right, they might be squeezing, right, just almost, they might be strangling the human spirit. There's a need for us to protect ourselves, to survive, absolutely, right? Absolutely. But there's also a need for us to expand, right? To have a space to open our hearts, to experience new things. And I think all these boxes, right? All these boxes, cubicles, cars, phones, social media, all these boxes we put around everything, right? Fences and walls, all these, boxes, I think they're killing the human spirit. I really do. I think they're killing the human spirit. There's so much fear in this world. There's so much miscommunication and fear of the other. And sometimes that is totally understandable. Not just understandable, but it's a good thing that we fear others, because it could be dangerous, right? The other could be possibly dangerous. But there's also a danger in fearing the other, right? Not connecting. There's so much disconnection, there's so much isolation from our body, right? Our physical health, our mind, our mental health. There's so much disconnection from each other because of all the political turmoil, all this news cycle, all these boxes that we put ourselves into. And there's so much fear with nature, right? Because we don't know where our food comes from, we don't know where our water comes from, we don't know, we're not connected. We're so isolated, we're so scared, so lonely. It could just be me, right? These boxes that I see everywhere, it could just be me. But to you, dear viewer, even though I'm talking to you through this box of mine, this cell phone of mine, I hope that you can that you are able to create a space, right? Create a space beyond that enclosure, right? Beyond the walls, the fences, the echo chambers, beyond all of that, right? Beyond all of that, all those boxes, to find a space, right? To find a space to welcome life. To find a space to welcome life. And it's sometimes it can be so scary, right? Trying new things can be so scary. I know it is for me. but at the same time, it's the most valuable thing. The things that I've tried, the new things that I've tried, have always taught me something. Always, right? Whether it was good, whether it was a painful lesson, or whether it was a beneficial lesson, that depends. But every single new experience taught me something new. Every single one. And I hope this message reaches you beyond the box, right? Beyond the box of this cell phone, beyond the boxes of echo chambers, beyond the boxes of all these ideas and concepts, beyond the boxes of culture, beyond the box, right? Beyond the box. Beyond the box of boxes themselves. To borrow a quote from FDR, the only thing we have to box is boxing itself. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. I hope to step outside this box too. To see the box